Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions.
Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to yet another Cutter, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinion. And I have a habit of being ill prepared. But anyway, I'm going to tell you, well, I have another unpopular opinion for you, a couple in this mini block, if you will. Trying to tell myself, stop doing so many unpopular opinion posts at the same time. You should at least wait a couple of weeks in between. But anyhow, so this will be number 165 for unpopular opinions. And this is a very touchy one, if you will. So 9 days ago, and for context, this is being taped on September 16th, 2022. Should be uploaded on this day, too. I have nothing else, not too much else to worry about. I posted an unpopular opinion saying biggest missed opportunity in the Rick Murray storyline was not addressing Toby and Emma's PTSD issues. And it got 54 upvotes on Reddit, which is pretty good. Usually I only get like one or two. Anyway, so this is what I said. I know another key missed opportunity in the Rick Murray timeline was not seeing how much grief/trouble Rick's folks got in because of Rick shooting someone and how Rick got the gun so easily. Not to mention if they got anything from the school board/police in a settlement, because some of the school board, because of the school board/Raj's mishandling of things. That. But I feel like they lost a lot of money because Rick was the main villain. But I feel that Emma and Toby's PTSD stuff was not shown aside from a few episodes. Think about it. We didn't see much effort to do with Toby's PTSD/feelings about Rick other than the subplot of Back in Black, which is a crime because Toby had to have some bad things in his head for months after the incident, but the writers ignored his issues. Especially with JT's death, how Toby may have been affected with JT's death in a way like Rick's death, and other than a small few glimpses in how Emma was not taking the offensive time stand still well in secret, they didn't talk much about Emma's aftermath except for her thinking maybe getting oral sex was a way to calm down her perceived guilt. Well, or at least that's how I see it, over her role in bullying Rick and setting Rick off by saying she pitied him. In a way, I still think she felt guilty over her Rick role, and that's why she didn't take up causes, fearing something bad will happen the next time she gets all Crusader on somebody. Of course, in brackets, I put I go all Crusader because that's my high school's nickname was the Crusaders of Waterloo Oxford. And in another brackets, I said, and also home to Christina Schmidt, aka Terry. Yeah, because Christina Schmidt went to Waterloo Oxford almost the same time I did. But the simple fact is, well, I also got to tell you that, well, unless you're in Southern Ontario, you don't know this, but the Waterloo Oxford is not called the Crusaders anymore. They're just called Waterloo Oxford School because the Crusaders nickname was eliminated because in some way to appease some other people and all that. Kind of the cancel culture in a sense. I mean, I know Eastwood changed their name from the Rebels, but that was easy. Confederate flag. But yeah, I feel that Waterloo Oxford just buckled under the pressure. Regardless, this is not what it's about. And I also think that the PTSD from Rick's situation was also there when JT died because the incident happened steps from her house and she was afraid of people shunning/moving away from her. What are your thoughts? So before I get to what my peeps are saying and the Reddit community, so context must be had. So I'm not going to go too much into the Rick Murray situation in season 4. The events of Time Stand Still is basically the main plot. So Rick gets painted and feathered thanks to Spinner, Jay, and Alex trying to get revenge on him for spray painting their cars. And so, Emma tries to calm Rick down after he gets the painted feather and the trophy. He kisses Emma. Emma says, "What are you doing? I thought you loved me. I pitied you. Get a clue." And he walks away. And then he goes home. His parents are working, so he decides to bring a gun to the school. Now, remember, he tried to go after Paige first, but then he decided to not do so when Paige actually confronted Rick and said that Rick was victimized. Rick goes to his locker and the gun, puts his gun in the locker, and then gets tricked by Spinner and Jay to thinking Jimmy did it. He shoots Jimmy and then conveniently finds Emma, Sean, and Toby, goes after Emma. Toby tries to calm down the situation but fails. and then basically Rick gets shot with his own gun by accident, mind you. And then there's a lot of blowback, and all that. The simple thing is that, you know, Emma was shocked. She had a gun pointed at her, but thanks to Sean's quick thinking, Rick dies because of the gun. Well, they wrestle for the gun. Sean didn't intentionally kill Rick. So anyhow, Emma seemed to be calm. Like the few episodes before Secret, she was okay. Well, back in Black, she broke down at talking to Snake because, everyone was looking at her because now they knew that Rick was going after Emma with the gun. And thankfully, Rick died. So anyhow, Emma feels bad and all that. Of course, Back in Black also was when Toby was wrestling with stuff. And in Time Stands Still Part 2, it's like, Rick's my friend, but he also shot somebody. I'm conflicted. And all that. Because, Toby was Rick's only true friend at Degrassi, which was strange because I thought Toby would have dumped Rick off because of what Rick did. But I think Toby, in a way, was trying to get some friendship because JT dumped him off for Danny, a.k.a. Liberty's brother. So, anyway, he spills his guts to Manny, who proceeds to give JT a new one. And JT admits he's a bad, bad man to Toby. And, their friendship still stays alive. And with Emma, they kind of did in secret. They just said that she was so traumatized by the events she can't do well in school. Perino, I think in a sense, was being a dick to Emma, saying that we all have to move on. Like, this is the first time Emma really had something bad happen to her, and she just can't fix it. Everyone figures that Emma always bounces back. She can't. She talks to Jay. They have the sex stuff, like the gonorrhea thing. Everyone shuns Emma because they know she has gonorrhea thanks to Jay, and it wasn't confirmed, but I think Emma did have gonorrhea and all that, but got better. But then, everyone kept shunning Emma. And then Emma, I guess in a way, when she said all the stuff about Rick, she was kind of thinking she had to be perfect. But, we never followed it up with Emma. I mean, they didn't really give too much hint after season 4. I mean, the perfect time was when JT got stabbed and Toby basically had the problems because, his best friend had died, had been stabbed, and Toby, maybe in the back of his mind, I don't know, I can't remember if in the episode after JT dies, that's not the one when Emma loses her marbles, but maybe Toby's thinking to himself, oh my God, when I told JT to go after Liberty, he died because of me. I don't know if he had that guilt. He probably did. And it wasn't faceted. I mean, it would have been nice for Toby to admit maybe I should not have had JT chase after Liberty. Because then he would have got stabbed. But then, Toby never saw the two Lakers people come back and stab JT in the aorta. And of course, with Emma, it was like with the whole situation with Manny in season 6 and the episode If You Leave, I think in a sense she was upset that Manny was leaving her high and dry. Or thinking that Manny was just leaving her because Emma needed a support system because, after all, the stabbing took part in just steps from her house at a party they should never have thrown in the first place with Spike and Snake out of the house. And I wouldn't hold it against Emma if she probably felt super duper sick to her stomach having to deal with JT's grandmother because, JT's grandmother was raising him, and Emma probably felt sick that she had to tell his grandmother the awful, awful truth about why her grandson's dead. But yeah, that was a part of her. And, the PTSD that Emma suffered after Rick's attempted killing of her was there in season 6. I think it was just a classic case of PTSD manifesting itself from previous seasons when she acted out against Lakehurst and Manny and everything. Because, JT's death happened. I think, in a sense, I mean, who would be freaked out if the things happened steps from her house? Like, she's probably worried the cops might do something with her, but I don't think they did. And then, everyone says that she and Manny should be best friends and all that. And that's kind of how that starts Emma clinging on to Manny and Liberty as friends because, she wants to be normal. And I just wish that she had said something that the PTSD from Rick, everything reminded her of Rick's thing 2 years ago. 2 seasons prior, I should say. Yeah, 2 years ago. I guess you can say it. But the simple fact is, with me, it's like I'm reading this and I'm thinking myself, yeah, like Emma should have admitted that the PTSD, well, with Rick, but also because that how Emma took a long time to get over the Rick thing. I think a month and a half, 2 months, and now that she's taking less time to try to get over it, people are yelling at her. I mean, yeah, Emma went overboard, but I mean, Manny refused to listen to her, and Emma thought that Manny would be a good source to let out her frustrations. Well, her angry frustrations. Because, I mean, after all, it happened near her house, and she's probably fearful of retribution. But, yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so let's get the online community stuff. Okay, here we go. Someone actually said that Hazel was a big missed opportunity for any storylines. That's actually true. I will give a credit. Her boyfriend got shot, and there's so many potential storylines that could have explored with her. Well, the problem is that they didn't really do Hazel well. They did Hazel dirty throughout the show. Anyway, yeah, and so it said Hazel was robbed. There's a great scene when after the shooting, but before Spinner confessing, Spinner and Jamie are playing hoops in the gym. Hazel is upset with things and all that. Oh, I don't know, remember. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, yeah, focus on Toby. And Aloha Reddit said Toby's a fascinating character. In season 1, the Isaac Kerwin household's position as the main plot point is presented as one of the main characters, but he loses that spot. Probably thinking the actor couldn't handle it. I mean, they used Craig, JT, and Peter a lot. I definitely agree that not seeing his PTSD is a miss on the showrunner's part. Aside from him trying to hook up with Liberty, he pretty much has no follow through to JT's death. And then aside from him blaming JT for him being friends with Rick and denying being his friend, nothing happens there ever. Emma changes a lot due to the shooting. Her entire arc after is about her trying to control her life after being hopeless in that situation. From her eating disorder to her thing with Jay, it's all due to Rick. That's true. The character who could have used an arc was Craig. He lost both his parents. He was abused by his father. He watches his best friend get shot. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right, because Craig was the first person to see the body and all that. They probably thought the writer said his bipolar disorder was a continuation from this. Get off scot-free from seeing the shooting. I don't think so. Well, anyway, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, they talk about a lot of things and all that. Busy Imagination said that Toby was actually friends with Rick, so they should have focused on a lot of what he was going through after. Toby had hardly had anything to do in Degrassi, which sucks. I really liked him. Someone said Toby most definitely should have had more storylines after Rick. Rick was his friend, but also responsible for devastation. It'd be great to watch Toby deal with that. And Toby and Emma might have a kinship. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So I can't find too much about that. So yeah, I think I did a PTSD thing about Toby and Emma being missed earlier in a unpopular opinion, but that's a couple years ago. So I'm just adding on to the story. But yeah, the writers handle that because Emma could have easily said this stuff about a lot of things. I am planning on doing another unpopular opinion and writing it in the Reddit community about Emma's internalizing things. Actually, was the worst thing about Emma because she would have got sympathy, she would have got help, and she probably would have been a better character. But it just means that it just hits that vibe that when you internalize things, people kind of hate you. Yeah, I got to think about that. But anyway, that's all I've got for this unpopular opinion. I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks.